All right, today's lesson is about fractions, equations with fractions, right? As you can see, term 1 is saying 10 over x plus 3x all over x minus 2. This is the second term, is equal to 7. So what do we have here? We have got this left-hand side, and we're being told that it is equal to the right-hand side. But most importantly, what do we have? We've got denominators, therefore we've got fractions. So what do we do? Number one, there is a restriction which we have here. We need to take care of a restriction. What does this mean? So before we deal with the high school thing, let's just remind you, or let me just remind you of something. What happens is this: if I come to you and I say 7 divided by 0, what is the answer? The answer will be undefined. Why? You can't share 7 things with something that does not exist. Hence, I wrote the answer undefined. So what is the relevance of what I'm talking about with this work which is here? What I'm simply saying is that the restriction now we now say that this x cannot equal to 0, because the moment this x is equal to 0, then it makes this first term to be undefined. But what else do we have? We write and. We also have got x minus 2. We also say that x minus 2 cannot equal to 0. What does that mean? It simply means that here we've got a minus 2. So our x should not be equal to the opposite of a negative 2, which is a positive 2. So if we are to find, when we solve for x, if we are to find a positive 2, we must know that the positive 2 will make this undefined. So the first part is the restriction. Now that the restriction is out of the way, what do we do? Now, the second thing that we need to do here is to now go ahead and multiply. Here on this denominator, we've got x. However, check, on the second term, we've got x minus 2. So the first denominator is lacking these factors of x minus 2. So when we're going to multiply, we're going to multiply with this x. We say x, open and close bracket, we open another bracket. We state these factors of x minus 2. Then we say multiplied by, then we write this first term, which is 10 over x. Then we come to the second term, which is x minus 2. The numerator is 3x. What do we have here? We've got x minus 2. So we start by multiplying with the denominator that we have. We say x minus 2. Then on this denominator, we don't have this x. So we multiply by x, which is now equal to, if you check the right-hand side, the right-hand side is a natural number, which is 7 over 1. We've got 1. So which means that on the right-hand side, we are going to multiply with these two denominators. So we now say 7 multiplied by x minus 2, like that. Then what are we going to do? We come to the first term, we say that this x cancels that x. This x minus 2 cancels that x minus 2. Now we multiply. We now say 10 multiplied by x, which is equals to 10x. Negative 2 multiplied by 10, which is a negative 20. And then here, positive 3x multiplied by x, which is now positive 3x squared, which is equals to, then what am I going to do? I'm going to start by multiplying x with x by x minus 2. So I write my 7. So x by x, it gives me x squared. Positive and negative, it's a negative 2 by x, which is 2x. Then I come here now, I say 7 multiplied by x squared, which gives me 7x squared. Positive and negative, it's a negative. 7 multiplied by 2x, it's 14x. Then on this other side, I've got 3x squared and a negative 20 and a positive 10x. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to transpose what is here on the left-hand side. It will go to the right-hand side. So when I start transposing, right, on this left-hand side, I'm now going to write 0. 0 is equal to, I've got 7x squared. So we start with 7x squared. Then the like term of 7x squared is this positive 3x. But obviously, when we transpose, it becomes a negative 3x squared. We tick it so that we don't repeat it. Then now the next term is negative 14x, so I write negative 14x here. I come and I check here, the like term is positive 10x. When I transpose it, it's now a negative 10x. You tick it with a pencil so that you don't repeat it. Then here we've got a negative 20, there is no like term there, so it becomes a positive 20. 0. So now if I say 7x squared minus 3x squared, it gives me 4x squared. So I now write 4x squared, negative 10, negative 40, negative 10 gives me negative 24 x, and then I've got positive 20 here, which is equal to 0. Now observe, on the numbers that I have, this coefficient, that coefficient, and this constant, there is a common factor of 4. So I divide across the board by 4. 4 into 4 cancels, so I'm left with x squared minus 24 divided by 4 is equals to 6. So I'm left with negative 6x plus 5 is equal to 0. Now I must factorize this part. So now, since it's x squared and it's a trinomial, I open the bracket, I say I've got x, I've got another x, which is equal to 0. I've got a positive, but the sign in the middle says it's a negative. And I know that I get the last positive by multiplying the last term and the last term. And since here there's a negative, it means that my last terms in both different brackets are negative. Negative and negative, positive. And this first term multiplied by that one, it's a negative. This one multiplied by that one, it's a negative, which gives us this term which is in the middle. So factors of positive 5, which gives me negative 6, are 1 and 5. Now I write that I've got x minus 1, which is equals to 0, or x minus 5, which is equals to 0. Now, I don't rush to say therefore, I transpose and I say x is equals to 1, or x is equals to 5. Now my job is to verify that my job now is to verify whether this answer that I got is correct, right? So verifying is what I will do on the next video. Thank you.